Hi, Dr. Tim Clare with ProHealth Wellness, Chiropractic in Charlotte, North Carolina. Also Disc Centers of America, South Charlotte. I'm showing you a little bit today about the techniques that we use in the office for adjusting our patients and taking good care of them. One of the things that we do differently that a lot of other doctors' offices don't is we get a good idea of a pre and a post. We get to see what the patient looks like before we adjust them and afterwards. So we can actually see, utilizing the ProAdjuster adjusting equipment, a way for us, it's a technique to adjust and to measure and then readjust if we need to, using sound waves. It was the same technology that was developed by NASA for the space shuttle. So what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna show you, one of my patients asked me, why don't you put this on there about how you adjust? You do so many different things. That's the reason why we're putting this on here. So you can kind of see what a ProAdjuster adjustment looks like. Some people are afraid of chiropractic. They don't really know what we do. So I'm hoping this gives you some added information and just some general knowledge of another adjusting technique that you may not have known about or have ever heard about. So what we're gonna start off with is I'm gonna clear this here, and we now have kind of a fresh sheet of music. We're gonna get a good measurement on our patient's neck. We're gonna start off here. And what we always do is we'll measure the spine first, and from here I'll be able to see what her neck looks like. So I get a good result of what is going on in her spine. I'm gonna choose the vertebra that I want to adjust. Now, based off of what I'm seeing here, I'm choosing the different ones that I wanna work on, and we're gonna go back and we're gonna adjust that, okay? And what it's gonna sound like, it's almost gonna sound like it's tapping. It's gonna sound like it's kind of tapping away, and what it's creating is a sound wave. And so we're gonna go to the vertebra, and it's gonna feel like this. A little tap. And once when the vertebra moves, the instrument will shut itself off. We're going to do it again down a little bit lower. And then I'm going to remeasure, because you don't know that you change the spine until you remeasure. So if I come back over and I take a look, I say, wow, that's not a bad change. I actually made a nice change. We're starting to see some change in the cervical spine. That means the bones are moving better than what we had before. Now, it's better, but there's a couple more I'm gonna work on, and I'm just gonna go a little bit more in here. Now let me know if it's too strong, Barb.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
And a little more force. And then I'm going to remeasure. So we're just going to go back in. And now we take a look at it again, and we can really see the change that's happening. What that's telling me is that the bones are starting to move. The vertebra is making a change. We're getting better alignment, better function in the spine. Okay, so I'm going to continue on, and you're just going to kind of see me go through and adjust. We're going to do the same thing in the mid-thoracic. We're going to go through and I'm going to measure the vertebra here in the thoracic spine, and then I'm going to be able to go back and choose the vertebra that I adjust, very much like I just did and like you saw me do. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to adjust it, measure it, check it, make sure I do the best I can to get it in the right position. And then we're going to go through. I'm going to show you one other thing I do after I go through the spine. I'm going to go now to the lower back. We're going to go back into here again. And it all depends on what we find in the area. How many times do I do it? The instrument will only allow me to adjust in that area 3 times. There's a reason for that. We want to make sure it's perfectly safe for the patient and that the patient's not over-adjusted. Again, one of the cool parts of this, and I think the technology is huge, is the fact that when I adjust the spine, it's only going to go as long as it needs to go until it moves the vertebra. When it moves the vertebra, it actually measures that change and then turns itself off. So a patient never gets too much and never gets too little. So one more down here, and then we're going to remeasure again. And then I'm going to go into the next phase, because that looked better. And I'm going to go into a little bit of muscle work. So one of the things I like to make sure is that we get the vertebra after we get them moving. Any area that's been kind of a tough area, and I know her area is in through here, we're going to do a little bit of muscle work just to try to relax the muscle a little bit more. So this works at a frequency that helps the muscle to calm down. Do a little bit of this after we're done. And then there's other therapies that we use in the office, including laser. We use interferential therapy, intersegmental traction. We use a lot of different therapies to help the muscles and the body to retain the adjustment, get people feeling better, get them out of pain, but really help correct some of the problems they have. One more time. There you go. All right, so that's the adjustment. That is a ProAdjuster adjustment. Again, depending on the patient, depending on what I see in the spine, sometimes it may be more, sometimes it may be less. Sometimes there's areas that give us some struggle. The nice part about this is I can see exactly what's happening. We can measure it and we can make that change. So that's the ProAdjuster adjustment. Remember, it's your future. Be there healthy. That's our motto. We're trying to help as many people as we can. A lot of people don't know about this technology. It's fantastic. And our patients, they love it. So whether you get a ProAdjuster adjustment or a manual adjustment, we use the technology to do the best we can for you. So thank you and have a great day.